Good morning. Got more of the same yesterday. It's like a happy day, kind of. Started out a little nasty, but happy day. Just a trading range. Good morning, Caesar. Top of the range, bottom of the range, top of the range, bottom of the range. There we go. Charts are up. Now, so we see it there on the hourly chart. Just looks like overlapping bars, back and forth, back and forth. On the daily chart, and every time we get a green bar, like a Pavlov's dog response, oh, it's ready to go up. And we should think that, of course, but it doesn't do it. So now we'll see if today is the day. Just listening to the news, I can't read. They program everyone. Everybody's now waiting for the inflation numbers that they know have to be bad, but how maybe mysteriously they could be massaged to maybe be not so bad and the market will go up. Or maybe they'll be worse and the market will go down. Oh, I don't know why should they get out of this trading range before then, but it could happen. So just a little recap. We had the power move up. We talked about the fact that breadth was good at that time and it's been consolidating the gain. So far, it's bullish sideways after the move up that's got a void. If it can clear that's Thursday's high, it should go up. And at this point, if it breaks today's low, it should go down. Well, yesterday's gap down to the bottom of the range. And buyers stepped up at the bottom of the range, brought it up, chopped around a bit, and then decided enough's enough. And they stopped as it got toward the top of the range. So still back and forth, pretty simple. And let me sec here. Look at SPX options before they evaporate them on TC2000. Just look at spiders. Same thing at the S&Ps, back and forth, topping tail versus bottoming tail bar. Here's the range. And $55. Well, let me see where this is at. 413 and change. No big deal. The gap down, no big deal. I mean, it's gapping down, right? In the air, still in the upper half of the green bar. So that's good. It would have a pretty decent amount of room to drop to get down to the bottom of the range. And if it hangs up there, right, if something different can happen this time where it can hang up, well, not really different because, the other day when it gapped up, it hung up there, it went higher and then went sideways for a while. If you look at the intraday timeframes, and then it dropped and, back down again. So it's still been a yo-yo market. So now the gap down is not significant. You can see the crosshairs there where it's at, and there isn't much support. So it's got to jiggle around and come back up again to the pre-market resistance, deal with that, and then go higher. And so Jake is saying, I'll get the internals, Tony. They're not going to tell us a whole heck of a lot here. 40.55 down below. 40.55. 80 by 95. What 55? Yeah. So here's the problem with this kind of situation. All right, that's not a problem. It's just like it's a fact, and so you just have to deal with that fact. Is that should this come down there and break the lows, which I don't think. look, this has got this trading range going on. We got this news coming out Friday, so on and so forth. It's been in a trading range. Why should it break down below the low of this trading range today? What would be the motivation for that happening when everybody's waiting for the news? Some surprise. Yellen is speaking at 10 o'clock. So she's pretty experienced in the format of telling Congress whatever she needs to tell them without telling them anything. So shouldn't be any surprises there. So, 40.55 should be okay. It's what we have right now. So the ideal scenario is you see it's going down. It continues to drop in the first 15, 20 minutes, and maybe you can get below 40.50 if that, if that's possible. 40.50, 60 by 70, but maybe we get some decent juice down there. Yeah, whatever she's told to say, certainly isn't, the guy at the sleeping in the white room there. And what's up 4,200? Yeah, what about the top? I don't think it's a bad idea to consider a condor. Even though it's up there, we can see, but 42.10, I mean, it's, I know it's closer to that. So see what it does there. Down here should be fine. That's a little closer, but again, my thinking is it's not going to get through there with, some power, but let's see. You can see the way it went up, so it's extended short term on the intraday time frame. It just rallied up to the top of the range. So if it was gapping up, it would be, potentially a short, to fade that, since it would be gapping up, but rather, it's gapping down, and just remembering where it was on this SPY chart, somewhere around here. So you see where the cursor is on SPX on 5 minute. It's going to be gapping down if it opens there. It'll be gapping down near these two pivots right here. And we look to the left, right? So it'll be gapping down here, and buyers should step up in that area. So keep an eye on that. Yeah. Okay, let's see if anything else is showing relative strength or weakness. This has been weaker. This is still, right? So when we have this bearish pattern, we call it a bear 180 reversal. And these are wider range bars compared to these two that preceded it. And it broke out, and that's bearish. And, if you look at this, kind of like, you can kind of imagine it, if you can tweak your eye a little bit, look at this on a closing basis. Do you see what I see? Be careful. If this breaks below yesterday's low, you see that? Sometimes the candles show you a picture that, you're looking at this from, right, these candle bars, but kind of if you look at the closes, right, which I'm connecting, right, kind of it peaked up there, and it went down, right? So it had that peaky thing. And it's kind of like, I kind of messed it up with the first one, but you get where I'm going with this. And it's kind of like a little spooky Head and Shoulders top there, right, George? Boogeyman, you said. And so this came down to the bottom of the range yesterday, poked under it, and it rallied back up. So, keep an eye on the usual suspects. What does, Microsoft do, and, Apple and NVIDIA and Tesla and Netflix and so on. So you can see that there. So it doesn't mean it has to go down. If it gets back up, back here, and I like to look at the cues. All right, you can see where kind of the gap. So 308 came down to 308. The gap wasn't that bad. Right? It's not bad. It's not gapping deep into the green bar. So a relatively neutral open, but still the same, trading range thing going on there. It's the same. But always looking through different patterns, pictures, internals, so on, that might give us some guidance. Now the Russell's been showing some strength because well, at one point the biotechs have been strong. And you see this is kind of like grinding its way up. I don't trust these very much. Bull flags are one in which they drift lower toward support and buyers step up at support. This is drifting its way up toward a pivot high. So be careful with that. But nonetheless, it's showing relative strength because you can see it drifting up toward there. KBE, right, had that nice reversal day yesterday. And XBI, right, that had a nice reversal day yesterday, still in a downtrend, but a trading range. And so top of the range, does it go back down to the bottom of the range? Keep an eye on those two today. If the Russell gets up toward that pivot high up there, well, maybe this is breaking out. And so we talked about Moderna yesterday making a bottoming, not a Moderna. Is it mRNA? Yeah, mRNA. Making the sloppy bottoming pattern here, and this is whipping around here pre-market. But and transports, that's the ETF. There's the, has bottoming tail bar, but at resistance and a downtrend. So there's nothing here that is like, these are high probability scenarios. Talked about this a week ago. I said, watch out here. While this was improving the markets, this was down to the 50, and now it's up at the top of the trading range. Same story, almost no matter where we look. Top of the range, does it break out? We have the 10-year, got above 3%, went down a little yesterday, hanging up there today. Freaking yo-yo market. And the 3-month just keeps moving higher. Keeps going higher. Right? So we know for sure the Fed has to do 50 basis points. And the surprise, if it was 75, probably the market likes it, but I don't think they have the guts to do it. Market internals, neutral at this point. Kind of a good thing that it got to this extreme, and sentiments backed off toward 1. And this is just jiggling up here. So it's come down off of this extreme, which was a good thing. So we just don't know yet. Is today the day? Does it keep going sideways and these come lower? And Friday we get an explosion up. However, look at this. Another yo-yo. Bitcoin was great, and then down, and it came back up yesterday, regained 30,000. Now it's going back down again. Look at this. Just power up and then completely back down and completely back up again. This is borderline retarded. But hey, we're the ones watching it all day. So I don't know who's the retard here. I'm kidding, but you know what I'm saying. Eventually this will end. But crude oil grinding its way up there. People calling it for to go much higher. You can't deny it. I mean, it's just kind of grinding, but silver, nothingness, gold, nothingness, euro. Maybe if that's something to set an alert on, does it break out? And, the dollar, right? We talked about it coming down to the 50. And so until proven otherwise, we got more of the same trading ranges and up and down, up and down. Well, yours, Dan.
Good morning. Yeah, and so even though we're in that trading range, we were talking in the green room yesterday about how we just have a bull or bear bias, and then you can kind of rank it from 1 to 10. And even though I wouldn't be trading those 4 horsemen, the bullishness of not going down and so forth has allowed us to pick up some much better looking daily patterns for directionals, and then also a bunch of nice put spreads. So we have a lot of open put spreads and longs. And as always, first thing I do in the morning, look at the futures, look at our opens, see if there's any problems, and everything's fine. So if you have any questions on anything, there's a lot of these, I mentioned them in the last night's video, that are nice continuation patterns of things that were already in. Also, military took off the other day. Knock, the LMT would be a great 1, 2, 3 if we get an inside bar today, and then tomorrow we buy over the high. We are in this one, LHX, kind of an inverse head and shoulder bottoming pattern, nice close. Let me just go to the interest list over here. SMG, when Greg was talking, I just saw it going by the ticker is all, but that's a bearish gap. That was working on a bottoming pattern. GME we saw taking off yesterday. So, just eyeball it, right? It's gapping down a third, which is fine if it holds here. And if that gives us a 1, 2, 3, then that looks good tomorrow. You got a 1, 2, 3 on the weekly. Redfin was in the weekend letter. I had canceled it, and then I just posted it again. We'll start off with a put spread, maybe 30-minute high. Directional Zoom, we did 2 different put spreads yesterday. One for Friday, one for next Friday. Roku, I saw busting a move here pre-market, 30-minute high, like that as a put spread. And I think I heard CNBC say the news was rumors that Netflix might buy them. And I have absolutely no idea the validity of that, but I'm looking at Netflix gapping down worse than the other things. So, maybe there is some truth to that. I don't know. I just saw this red box has been crazy volatile lately. Look at this. From $2 to 12 to 2, back to 11 and change. Crazy moves there. All right, so KWeb, remember on this gap, KWeb is the Chinese internets. On this gap up, I mentioned that this could be a beautiful home run entry. Look at this weekly bottoming pattern. 20 MAs curling, higher low now, price void. So that's continuing to show strength. There's no pattern right here. But look at BABA gapping up, a couple bucks here, closing breakout. Curl. All right, Curl. All right, Curl, I think we have a naked put way down here, so I'll keep an eye on that for us. Send, we did a half lot. Today's Wednesday. We did a half lot on Monday. And so now it's a big fat 1, 2, 3. You can do the back half over the highs. VRNT. I think this one was earnings. Gapping up. It's a on the 15-minute chart. This is what we call an end of day rally. So there's no entry here whatsoever. But the daily is a nice gap reversal. So that's worth watching. Delta 20 is asking about Pfizer. It's not bad. It's not bad. Made the turn with the bottoming tail. And, closing breakout. Gapping down here a little bit. So 30-minute high maybe. SMAR had earnings. Gapping down to 37. it's a bearish gap, but I don't know what to do with it. GWRE gapping down 70, so that's bearish. So that could be 30-minute low, could be a call spread. I'll put that right here. Oh, you know, with all this gun stuff going on, I meant to look at these two gun companies, Ruger and what's Smith and Wesson here? It's SW Swabi. That's it. SWBI. Swabi. Swabi's holding. It's not clean, but a big old move and a couple of red bars ignored. So that's stronger than Ruger. JR is going to be Pfizer long. It's just, you know, what just jumps out at me is slop. I mean, look at these overlapping bars. It'd be more of a put spread down here under the 50 MA somewhere. I just have so many better directionals. Here, I'll show you a couple that I left on my list from yesterday. And I'm going to show you these because they're on my list, but also to demonstrate that there's so many superior other longs with price voids. So SI, MDB, look at that, end of day base with a closing breakout gap up on earnings the other day, last week, and a price void. Boeing yesterday's high, Airbnb, the week's high, Caesar's Palace, yesterday's high, Zoom, yesterday's high, WCN, yes, that's superior. Look at WCN. BCE, yesterday's high, Marvel, we did a put spread. It's not crazy about a directional. IIPR, bottoming pattern, 20 MA curled. So do you see what I'm saying? KC gapping up, 30-minute high maybe. I think that's a gold stock. TSM, kind of the flavor of a little bull flag here. Broke out, little channel retracement, gapping up. We'll keep an eye on it. Invex, that's in the Myrna. Had some news in the Myrna family. Myrna's a better pattern. Mr. Norlim, SQQQ. So that's an inverse. Yeah, there, as Greg was saying, there's no pattern yet on the four horsemen. We did a put spread on IWM yesterday for Friday, but not a directional. Everything else we're gapping down into yesterday's bar in a trading range. So whether you're talking about the actual horseman or an inverse, the answer is going to be the exact same, just the opposite. Oh, by the way, today talking about on MT Live short selling and bull and bear markets. Be sure to come check them out. Credit Suisse came out saying they're probably going to have a losing quarter. Curve. Now I know we talk about bull flags and uptrends, but you know, that's a bullish controlled consolidation after a big move, and now it's gapping up. So that's a definite long watch. So looks like it had earnings, but that's flopping around. Look at the size of the range pre-market. 82 to 73. That thing is whipping around. LMNR, I like yesterday's gap reversal on support. We'll come back to you. Campbell Soup, gapping up. That could be a put spread, but gapping up there to 20 MA. No pattern, don't like the way it trades. Ollie, negating the gap down here. If this gives us a 1, 2, 3, and this one had earnings, so this could also be a put spread idea, the fact that it's negating. Negating the gap down so far. Love, I post this as a bearish gap down. I posted a bear call credit spread, the 40.55 under 30-minute low, but I might adjust that. So I just start off with 30-minute just so people don't rush into something, and then it gives me more time to assess it. DAKT bottoming pattern, wide range closing breakout on volume, gapping up, end of day base. That looks interesting. Newer. Breaking out of a bottoming pattern, 30-minute high maybe. I can't tell where it's gapping. AMC. I sold some out of the money puts yesterday on this breakout. I'll keep an eye on giving you a suggestion. LEU, I think had earnings also. But see, this is also an end of day rally, and it's gapping up, so you're chasing it. But that was a beautiful closing, wide range breakout, increasing volume, bottoming pattern. I know Emmanuel's been playing with this KMI for a while. I like the 180 reversal in the closing breakout. So that's a 30-minute high idea. PXD. When I was watching CNBC yesterday after the bell, some woman was mentioning this, and that's all I do. I get ideas from anybody. It could be a blimp going by with an advertisement, and I'll pull it up. But it's an ascending triangle breakout. Trade's a little sloppy. Another guy was talking about these cloud stocks. Cloud stocks, FTNT could be a put spread. A Redfin alarm I had posted. So that well, let me get photo. It must have been one of my GTC's bids of something. So I do not have GTC stops. So what that's telling me is it's good news. Whatever I got filled on is good news. It's a profit. All right, so Redfin's good to go. If you get the credit, no need to wait. Delta 20, asking about PAG. This is strong. Yeah, 30-minute high. That's fine. So it broke out from an uptrend. I love the bottoming tail as a continuation pattern. That would have been your original entry over that bottoming tail bar. Mitch. You have Mitch up alarm. I had moved the stop to yesterday's low or short puts. That looks good. All right, first 5-minute action is on the bearish side. Tick negative 1,000. Not liking that for the bullish case. But the daily is totally fine. The daily is a 1, 2, 3. So it depends what time frame you're looking at. But we look at them all and then put them together and decide what time frame we want to trade. But there's nothing to do. Airbnb popping here. We were short puts on that. these military, I'm hoping we get a couple 1, 2, 3s. No, knock is already gone. That one rallied too much. But the others that I mentioned. BHC. BHC? What time frame are you talking about, Fur? Nothing's jumping out at me at all. I mean, it's bearish. I think that we gave that as a breakdown the other day, but there's nothing to do with it now. I mean, if you're in it, you just manage it. Hey, Greg, our RCL might finally be cracked